Well, hi. Today is Friday, November 1st, 2024. Time for another morning coffee. Good morning. I'm Todd Studer. Thank you so much for all of the wonderful comments and support that you've been giving ever since we started this program several weeks ago. I'm watching the numbers go up every week as to total views, so I know more and more people are finding it, and I'm really incredibly thankful. This morning's coffee cup, it's coming from the West Coast. There are a lot of Disney fans out there, and most people from our area go to Florida to the parks. For me, Disneyland will always be the best one in California, whether it be the Disneyland Park or California Adventure. I love both of those. I also love how close together they are. You can just walk right from one to the other, and it's a lot easier for me to do that. No, Disney's not a new sponsor, but we can always cross our fingers and hope, right? There's a couple of things that are going to be coming up. First of all, don't forget Sunday, we're all setting the clocks back. We used to have to remind ourselves to do that, but now our phones just kind of do it automatically, so we don't ever really think about it. Everybody always talks about getting that extra hour of sleep. You know what happens to me? My clock just says it's an hour earlier. I still get up at the same time. But as early as it's been getting dark, well, starting on Sunday, that's going to move up another hour earlier, and it's going to be dark pretty early. And it's a countdown to December 21st, so we can turn things around and start making the days longer again. I don't know. I'm not a fan of winter. I was when I was a kid, used to love the snow, but now not so much. And I guess that I'm just turning into a cranky old get off my lawn kind of guy. Also, coming up very, very soon, it's going to be Election Day. Now, here's the thing. I don't talk politics. There's very, very few people that I'll even discuss my own views with because things are just so volatile. However, not everything is political that you're going to be deciding on Tuesday, and one of them is a bond referendum that is going to be on the ballot in this area because Iowa Western Community College has a bond referendum on there. Now, it's not going to change anything, and we're about to learn all about that from Dr. Dan Kinney, president at Iowa Western Community College. Dr. Kinney, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us on the program.
Well, Todd, thank you for having me. Excited to talk about a lot of things that are happening here at Iowa Western Community College.
One of the biggest things, and it's coming up very, very soon, is the bond referendum that folks are going to be voting on when they go to the polls on Tuesday. And they can see that it's there on the ballot, but all the details are not going to be there about it. So in order to spread a little bit of information, that's why we wanted to have you on so we could learn more about what folks will be voting about.
Yeah, and you're right. Unfortunately, there's a lot on our ballots this year as we continue to move forward with the presidential election. But we're excited. What we're asking the voters to do is approve a $55 million bond issue that's really going to build a career technical education facility on our campus and the needs that are there. And in addition to that, continue to expand some of the other programs by allowing us to renovate here on the main campus in Council Bluffs, but also do that at our satellite campuses in Clarinda and Atlantic. So we're excited about the opportunities and a lot of details behind it. I mean, the big thing is the need for the career and technical education fields. I mean, diesel tech, auto, welding, electrical, HVAC, construction. I mean, those are trades that we're struggling on and continue to put enough students out there into the public to be able to serve local residents, to work with our businesses as those continue to grow.
We talk about this very topic on the Circle of Trades podcast with Travis Waldstein about how much of a need there is for people to go into these fields, because not only just folks to be able to work in the fields, but also the business owners are aging as well. And there has to be a starting point for folks that want to get into the trades and then maybe expand into being an entrepreneur. Without young people coming in behind it, the situation's only going to get worse.
Yeah, and we're going to see that. The thing about this is the majority of this $55 million goes to a new facility, which will move our auto and diesel tech programs up. improve our CDL program by moving it up there to give them some space. Right now, they're in a parking lot on our campus. And it doesn't work real easy. And it's our logistics program. Think about supply chain management and moving product across the country from, into the region, but also out of the region. So that's where the majority will go. And right now, if you look at our diesel tech area, it was built in the 60s, 70s for 35 students. We're trying to run 70 students out of there right now, and we're turning students away because we could probably have 150 students into that program. Same on our auto side. But then when those programs move out of that facility, then we're going to backfill it with, double size of our construction, our HVAC, our plumbing, which honestly HVAC and plumbing are new degrees to us that we just started a couple of years ago, but we just don't have the space to continue to produce enough students into the field to continue to move forward. So we're excited about the opportunities to expand those careers and give students opportunities, not only when they graduate from high school, but while they're in high school, and then adult learners, individuals that are in career fields and it just isn't there and they want to try something different, be able to come in as adult learners too.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room, because that 55 million is a big, scary number. But it's, as we were visiting before we got started here, it's not as if people's taxes are going to go up from this.
No, the thing is, I think the thing is, Iowa Western's been very fiscally sound for a lot of years. And we can do this without raising the property tax levy. And that's what's the most exciting thing about it. As individuals vote on their ballot, would vote yes, they will not see an increase in their property tax rate. We can do that mainly by some expiring bonds that were used, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Moving forward, will start falling off. And so we can do that by just continuing forward. So that's the most important thing. We can add these careers that people are needing daily in their lives and businesses need, but we can do it without raising the tax levy rate for our residents in our district.
With the programs that are already in our area, whether it be here in Council Bluffs or in one of your satellite programs, are you seeing a lot of interest in young people to be able to go into these fields?
Yeah, I'll be honest. The youth have got smarter, I'm going to say. You've got a third of the students right now that know what they want to do and the degree they want to go in. You've got a third of the students, I'm calling the smarter generation. They're not like me who just kind of went to school, is going to get a degree and find a job later. They're asking, what's the return on investment? And a lot of those students are going into our career and trades areas. And then there's a new bucket of students. It's fairly new to education. And really, this happened, post the pandemic. I'm tired of talking about the pandemic, but we're seeing that going straight to the workforce. Well, so we can allow and work with them while they're in high school into these programs to get some type of certification to go straight to work. But what we're seeing, these students, we're re-engaging them into education. Then are coming on and completing the complete degree, then going to the workforce. So students are getting smarter, of what they want to do. I mean, number one debt in America, student loan debt. And students are asking that question. If I do this, what am I going to make down the road? So students have got smarter in the last few years and really see these great jobs. I mean, students are coming out of a lot of career technical education programs, are making $80,000 a year. I mean, the needs are out there. You think about transportation out there, the logistics side of the house. Logistics is needed. Truck drivers are needed through our CDL. How do we keep the mechanics under there? We're going to see that. And honestly, we've done some studies, and we're going to see the increase of transportation of goods in America on trucks increase by the 2050. It's 107% in the state of Nebraska, and Kansas a 97% increase in those goods. We've got to put the workforce out there to support that our logistics are moving supplies in and out of our district.
I think, and this from a layman's standpoint, in my opinion, would be that a lot of this knowledge with the young people that you're seeing that are a lot more savvy now is coming from Iowa Western's partnership and cooperation with a lot of the area schools. Because these programs you have been putting in place and you've been helping schools get this information out to younger people. And then they know that when their time is done at their high school, they have an option.
Well, and honestly, a lot of it's being done while they're in high school. So we're working a lot with 7th and 8th graders, starting to say, hey, here's some careers out here. Let's explore them, give them some hands-on into that world and say, okay, hey, this is something I want to do. So if I make that decision as a seventh or eighth grader, now I know what I need to do my freshman year of high school, my sophomore years of high school, which could lead me to attending the community college already my junior and senior year of high school and coming out with their degree. We're seeing more and more students are getting their degrees while they're in high school and not even coming straight to us out of high school. They're going straight to the workforce. So, and it is. I think that's what's important. And we've expanded what we're doing into our local high schools throughout all of our district. We've been able to do some expansion at some of our satellites and definitely here in the main campus. And I think that's what's growing the desire to go into these career fields. Students are being engaged into these earlier by us, then making those decisions and having those decisions made prior to graduation or right after graduating and completing those degrees.
I'd like to talk just briefly, Dr. Kinney, about all of the growth and the additions that have been going on out on the Iowa Western campus. You have a phenomenal campus. It is beautiful out there now, and I know it's taken a lot of work and to get to there, but just some of the things involved with that, I'd like you to touch on.
Yeah, honestly, we're seeing more and more growth. Prior to my, 4 years coming here, we were really moving this institution forward. When I got here, one of the big challenges to me is how do we work better with our local high schools to expose students to these type of careers? We did a lot of great work. We've seen a significant growth in high school students taking college classes when they're in high school. And the nice thing about that is a lot of times that's free to the student. They can explore a little bit, look at that with the supplemented weighted dollar and the funding that the school districts get from the state to work with us to do that. So we've seen that growth really early on. Now what I'm seeing is the growth of those students saying, hey, I like this, now I want to continue on. And that's what's pushing us to the limits of kind of what we're going to do in offering these classes. I mean, we're capped out in so many different programs that saying, yeah, we'd love to educate you, but unfortunately we can't. We just don't have the lab space right now as we move forward. And honestly, I'll say, 10 years ago, Iowa Western was probably a lot more, that junior college in a way where they'd come here, get their first 2 years of their bachelor's degree out of the way and then transfer on. We're probably 70% that, 30% career technical education. Today, we're about 50-50. And I'll be honest, Todd, I think in the next 10 years, we're going to be 70% CTE, 30% arts and science, that transfer track. Because, again, as I said earlier, students are getting smarter. They're wanting to know, what am I going to make? How much is it going to cost me? How long it's going to take? So not only are we doing that on the credit side, but we've really grown our non-credit side. And that's a little bit more focused to the adult learners. We're trying to start some apprenticeship programs, including one in diesel tech. But again, I need the space to be able to do that. And that allows adult learners to come in, get their degree or their certificate a little bit quicker back out to the workforce. Honestly, I think some high school students are wanting to do that too.
I think also that the reason that this program exists is to be able to promote the community, promote Council Bluffs, the surrounding area, and expanding it all the way out into Southwest Iowa. When you look at a community and you look at something that's growing, especially around the state of Iowa, because I've seen it in many places, that there's certain components. One, you've got a robust downtown district. And another big part of it is there secondary education in town that is progressive and forward thinking? And that's what excites me most about Iowa Western.
Yeah, I think if you really look at economic development, the community college system and definitely Iowa Western and Southwest Iowa play a key role in that. I mean, this bond in a way is a little bit, how do we keep our youth in our rural communities? Because we've got great paying jobs, great communities. That how do we keep them home to fill the jobs that are needed here? And that's where I think key comes in with, a community college and definitely Iowa Western in playing a role in that and working with our chamber, economic developer, our businesses, our local government, in the community governments, and then also the county governments, and honestly, it ties back to the state government. But we're a key in that economic growth and economic development in the region itself. We don't want to see students, or I say our youth, leave our communities to go find jobs in Des Moines and away from here. We want to keep them here in Southwest Iowa.
Yeah, I think the biggest key to all of this, of what you've said, is that a yes vote on this bond referendum does not increase the tax rate. and because everything's been put in place, but it still have to go through the process, and there still has to be the bond in order to be able to get these things. And this is what's going to benefit young people as they move off into a secondary education. So yeah, you got me sold.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and hopefully we can get this out and get the word out of what's happening, and I think it's help our communities. You think about it. I've been talking to a lot of people, and they said, yeah, I had some damage during those storms back. That was early summer, late spring. They still don't have construction people coming in and working on it and stuff like that, and it just really pushed the needs. Like, wow, we need these in our communities to help everybody for us to continue to grow Southwest Iowa.
No, and even all the way down to automotive repair. I know I had some work that I needed done on my car. They said, yeah, we can get you in about 6 weeks. 6 weeks?
I took mine in the other day, and it was 72 hours before they could even do a diagnostics on it. Then they came back, and of course, it was the 71st hour, and called and said, hey, we got to get some parts, and there'll be 3 more days. And I mean, I was without a car for a week, and I was talking to the owners, and I said, what's going on? They said, we need more mechanics. You got to produce us more mechanics. And it just, all those just continue at home to show the support and why we need to do what we're doing in this bond referendum.
Well, Dr. Kinney, thank you for your time. Thank you for the great information about this, and encourage everyone to get out to the polls on Tuesday. And as we said, a yes vote does not increase your taxes. It's just going to help get some more facilities in and be able to educate more young people in the trades. So thank you much. Don't be a stranger. You're welcome here anytime.
I won't.
Would
love to do a regular podcast with you guys.
I would love that too. We'd love to have you on.
Things happening here.
I know a lot of my friends have already voted. I'm more of a traditional guy. I like to go to the polls on actual election day and do that. I see that my polling place has moved this year. Got that letter in the mail. So, well, thank you very much to the county for letting me know so I didn't show up at the wrong place. But that's going to be my Tuesday. I'll, after work, I'll head over, get in line if there is one, and cast my vote. But as I said, I'm not into arguing. I don't care for it, and I don't care for the negativity that partisanship brings. I think my personal opinion is we need to learn how to talk to each other again, so we can find ways to reach common ground. Because this, my way or the only way that I keep seeing from both sides, yeah, that's not so much for me. And that's my little soapbox speech. That's as far as I'm going to go with it. So we do want to say thank you to some of the wonderful sponsors that have been helping out so far on Morning Coffee, and that includes AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning and Waldstein Plumbing. Travis and his crew at AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning, and also Hayden with Waldstein Plumbing. These guys do tremendous work, and they also are big Hawkeye fans. So, yep, go Hawks. Also, the best wrestler, George Ivanov, he was just on the program yesterday and told us all about everything that happened at the wrestling tournament in Des Moines, the preseason nationals. And follow him on social media. You follow George on Facebook, and you can see all the updates that are going on. There's a lot of area kids that are part of that wrestling club. And if you would like to learn more about how you can get your young person involved, you're going to want to do that by going to his website, thebestwrestler.com. Follow him on social media, and also join in on the new free community event that is going to be coming up next weekend. Yeah, today's Friday, so it's next weekend. Prairie and Pine Real Estate Group, Keller Williams, Greater Omaha. That is Mackenzie Shelton. She's going to be joining us on a future program very, very soon, and we're thankful to be able to have her on. And she's going to be giving us periodic updates on what's happening in the real estate market. She has offices in Council Bluffs. She's also across the river in Omaha and in Lincoln. So she's got a really good understanding about what's happening across the entire region. And as she said, there's when we had an opportunity to talk, she said, the acreages are still at a premium, but occasionally you can find one. But inventory is down a little bit. We're going to learn more about that next week when we get a real estate update from Mackenzie Shelton with Prairie and Pine Real Estate Group. thankful for her being a sponsor on the program. Just Sue Creative, the creator of my website, leshillsmedia.com. And I know that she's been very, very busy and doing work for a lot of other folks, businesses around the area as well. So go to justsuecreative.com, learn about what it is that she can do for you, and helps with that SEO on the search engines when it comes to finding your website. She can help grow your lists on social media. A lot of great things that she's been doing that for over 20 years with the Small Business Development Center out at Iowa Western. And now, as she's retired from that, she's doing this on her own. So, she has the expertise to get that done. So go to justsuecreative.com and reach out to her. Foxco Fabrication, they are the folks that if they're messing with metal, you know that they're the best ones to do it, whether it's welding, building flatbeds, it could be metal business cards. I've gotten some of those from Rick. Also, I saw on his website that they're doing slate coasters now. How cool is that? Cups, signs, all kinds of great things. Go to foxcofab.com. Take a look at the wonderful work that Rick Grable does. And the best part about it, he's local, right here in Council Bluffs. Service Master Restore by Schmader is the one you want to call when disaster strikes. That's the call you hope you never have to make, but boy, isn't it great that you do have that option, that if something bad happens, you know that there's somebody that you can go to, and that is Cindy Schmader with Service Master Restore by Schmader. So just follow this web address that you see now on the bottom of the screen and just put your location in, and Cindy Schmader's office will pop up. So you'll be able to get a hold of her. Again, it's one of those things that you don't need it till you do. And it's just wonderful that she is there, and we are able to take advantage of that. And also, we have a brand new sponsor coming on. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. It's one of my favorite places to get something to eat, maybe hang out on a Saturday to watch a ball game. Charles and his team at the Mile Away are going to be joining us periodically now as a sponsor on the program, telling us about some of the great things that goes on at the Mile Away on Old Lincoln Highway, north of Council Bluffs. They have a comedian show that's going to be coming up in November. More information is available to that when you follow them on Facebook. And every Thursday, other than last night, here's the thing. I was out Wednesday night at the Mile Away, and that's when I learned that they were going to be closed last night because of Halloween. There is a lot of parents that work out at the Mile Away, and Charles thought it was best to be able to let them have Halloween with their family. There's only so many days that kids get to go trick-or-treating before they just grow out of it. So why not take advantage of it every time that you can? And on one of their busiest nights, Charles said, you know what, let's go ahead, shut down for the night. You go spend time with your family and enjoy Halloween. So typically on a Thursday night is their $5 burger and fries night. They're doing it tonight on Friday. So head out to the Mile Away. It's one of those things where you have to eat in order to get that deal. But a half-pound burger with fries for $5, you tell me where you grab that kind of deal. It's certainly not at any kind of drive-through that I've been in the last 30 years. Although, well, you have to go back about that far, I think, to get those prices. But Charles and his team and Jess and everyone out at the Mile Away brought that back. And so great night to head on out there, and also a great place to watch games on Saturday. I've done that many, many times. That's the Mile Away on Old Lincoln Highway, north of Council Bluffs. Once again, thank you so much, Dr. Dan Kinney, for joining us on today's program. Give some consideration to supporting that bond issue. As Dr. Kinney mentioned, it doesn't do anything to your taxes. Everything is set up to where your tax rate's not going to change from what it was last year, just because of previous bonds ending and just how everything is set up. But they do still need your approval in order to do it. And it's such a wonderful program for young people to be able to go into the trades and training folks and diesel mechanics and everything else that they do out there. So please give some consideration to passing that so they can get some new facilities built. It helps more than just right here in Council Bluffs. It's all across Southwest Iowa, and we've got a lot of folks from Nebraska that come over and take advantage of that too. They're just running out of room. It's the programs are so necessary that the students are taking advantage, and oftentimes having to tell folks, well, you got to wait because our program is full. This is a way to create more room so more young people can then stay in the area. And that's what we're after, is to try to keep some of this homegrown talent right here at home. I hope you've had a wonderful week. I know that I have. I also hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you back here on Monday morning. My name's Todd Studer, and as my buddy Farrell used to say, may all of your teams win. We'll see you on Monday.